Hello everybody, welcome to this video. This is the second video in our video for proof of concept, and here we're going to show you how things actually work within ArkZen. So ArkZen is simply a workbook. Your one will be called ArkZen. This is DevZen where we do the development. So you're going to go into that thing, open that item, and you'll come up here. Now as you come in, it's going to take about 2.5 seconds. I'm not going to show you that because when we share the CPU with the video recorder, it doubles the time. So if I run it now, it takes about 5 seconds, but you'll be able to see when you run it for yourself that it only takes about 2.5 seconds. So, and then we come to this screen. And in fact, let me just go one back here. That's the screen that we would actually come back to. And now we're going to go and look at our primary report. So what we've said is that on entry, we have loaded the entire data set. And go back to the previous video if you're not sure what we mean by a data set. But the entire data set has been loaded and we're ready to go and look at these items. So we're going to come into here, primary. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to skip ahead of these two. I'll come back to them. I can just click here and get my income statement. There's my income statement. We'll prove all of these numbers. I can now come back and go to my balance sheet and I can see that my balance sheet balances. And this is all done on demand. When you see the forecasting system coming out early next week, we will, sorry about that, we'll be able to show you that you can run the forecasting system. It takes only about a second to generate a complete data set, and then the numbers that you see here will reflect what you've just forecast. Okay, now I can go to my cash flow and I can see the elements that are affecting my cash flow. I can come through and see them. I can also go to my expenses and I can run down and see these detailed expenses. So let's go back to the top two here. This is a new thing that you won't be used to called a population summary. So what we're saying is our populations are broken up into different transactions, and here's where we see each transaction. And this one here, this is receipts from debtors. This one is payments to trade creditors, payments to expense creditors. This is advances to petty cash debtors, and so we go. This is payment to salaries. We can go through these. This is our sales, and this is our VAT on sales. So we actually have the two journals coming through on that one particular item. And so we can go through all of these items. We've only got 31 of them, 31 distinct different sets of data that actually then form the data set as a whole. So now we've got that. And we've also got the count. Every single item here has a count, okay? And we can show you over here that we've got the count. For example, our sales over here is 210. Now I can drill into here. I can click on that number and it'll drill into here, and I can see my 210 and I can see my 9120 and my VAT number here. And I can click here and I can go by period, for example, and I can click here and I can go by debtors. And I can see just exactly how these numbers are actually coming about. And then I can come back to where I was over here. So this is brilliant in terms of how this works. Now let's talk about, so that's now the population summary. And basically, all that's got to happen is that information there must be converted into double entry. And this is what we're going to do in the trial balance. So I come back to my trial balance. Now this is a very different kind of trial balance, and we'll explain it now. This is also can be thought of as a macro general ledger because we're using block numbers. We're using only our journals, which is only about, let me just actually go and have a look at that. If we go here by journals, okay, and we have a look at the top level here, I've got 38 journals. Okay, let me just make sure I'm at the bottom here. Trial balance, yes. I've got 38 journals is actually all I need to move from opening to closing in this particular case. In other cases, it might be more like 60 or 80 or 100. Okay, but here that's all we're actually using now. So now I'm going to come back to my modules. Okay, so now this module split down are the journals generated by that particular module, and it's lovely. If I drill down into here and I can see this item, and I want to go here now by listing. Okay, now when we go by listing in this particular file, we are getting both the opening balance plus the journals, and the journals are split into side 1 and side 2. Side 1 will come through under active and side 2 under passive. This is very important, these headings, because we use, instead of having to just have debit and credit, we get much more information by using it on active and passive. The passive only covers income statement, cash flow, and VAT. Okay, that's the only stuff we get in the side 2. The rest is on the side 1. So it's very, very nice. We can actually see how these things actually come about. So here we have a banking item. There we have, and these ones are income statement items down here on side 2. But now what is nice about this is we can see the link up so easily. There's my sales. There's my sales. Debit, debtors, credit, income, okay, and there's my 14, there's my 14, there's 98, this is receipts from debtors, there's receipts from debtors, that's for the bank, that's for the debtors, and we can see how this, now I can change this here to go by accounts, Okay, the income statement items stay the same, but the trade debtors now forms this whole item. There's my closing balance, and I can drill down on here, and now I can see these items affecting the item here. I end up with 9820. Now it's quite nice. Let's do another item. Let's come back to here. Okay, come back to here, and now what I want to do is I'm going to go by what we call majors. Okay. Now, majors are the lines of the income statement balance sheet. We show them, they all come out as one item. It's like a trial balance, but it's like a very condensed trial balance. We've only got 15 lines in here. And now we can come down on accounts receivable. Okay. And now we can go here by accounts. And now I can see my trade debtors, and there's my 4820 on my trade debtors. And again, I can go down here and I can go by listing, and I can see exactly what has come through on here, and I can see what's going on. So I've got complete control over moving up and down. And then when I want to actually jump to it, okay, I can click here and I can go by sales. I come into my sales. I can see what's happening here. I can look at it by region, and then I can click back here. And now I can click back and click back. So this is an incredibly powerful document. I can see everything. It's so beautiful to be able to see how everything matches off within a particular module, or the journals generated by that module, because the debtors is the active side. We use the bank when we need it, and we use the VAT side when we need it. But fundamentally, we're looking at the debtors module, which has our sales and various other items that go into that. And we can see how that all works, and you can see those journals, and you can do that for each one. So this is how it works. And it's as simple as that. It's instantaneous. You come in and it does that. And we only do the processing of the journals once a month. To get to the end of the month, we approve what's gone through, the data that's gone through, add that into the data sets, and our annual data set contains that month as well, and immediately this is available. And we'll show you in future videos that are coming out over the next few weeks. We're going to show you how this expands. We're going to be doing the secondary reports, and we're going to be doing all the other things. The AI issues are going to come out as well. So this is an introduction to show you how this concept actually works. And I think you can see this is going to be very, very beneficial. So if you're running a consolidation and you have your 40 members, this is how long it takes for each one to go through. So we're saying on the morning of the first day of the new period, the guys are doing this. They're finalizing things that we expect them to be finalized by 10 o'clock. Maybe you want to be more generous, give them 11 o'clock, but then that data should be finalized. There's no reason for that not to be the case. All 40 are run, and all 40 are then posted up into the cloud and back down to head office. So it's available here for consolidation. The consolidation also has the same kind of speed. We've done, we actually do the consolidation on the processing as it's moved up. Each member submitting is responsible for his portion of the consolidation, so that the data is already consolidated. When you get to there, there's no processing run that has to be done. It's all available. You can go look at the income statement balance sheet with the same kind of speed, except that here you're now looking at consolidated variables, and there's lots of options on there, and we'll be able to show you that also in a couple of weeks. So the next release that we have is going to show you the forecasting system, where you'll be able to download the software and then make changes to the parameters and run your own forecast. You can actually run a forecast that's very similar to one of your companies, so you can get a feel of exactly what that company would look like. Thanks very much.